think we have everyone on board. So, welcome and a very good morning, good afternoon to everyone. And thanks for joining us in this very important session discussing the facets of financing sanitation. A large financing gap has been identified as one of the greatest barriers to achieving water, sanitation, and hygiene related targets of the SDGs. Funds are not only needed to construct water, sanitation, and waste infrastructure, but also for the people and institutions to maintain and expand these services to a very growing population. It is estimated that population in certain countries would double by the year 2050, and it is utmost important to ensure that water and sanitation services are financed timely. The World Bank has estimated that to meet the targets of 6.2 and SDG 6.1 and 2 alone, a capital financing would need to be tripled to around US dollars 114 billion per annum. And the operating and maintenance costs would need to be considered in addition. In general, maintaining existing assets would require at least 1.5 times the amount needed to construct these materials. So today we will hear from 4 speakers on the cost of sanitation in 5 sample cities, strengthening the private sector, cross-subsidy models, and financing in Lusaka City, Zambia. So without further ado, let's go and hear the first speaker, Osinu. Has been working in the water and sanitation sector for more than 30 years with various international development organizations. And over the last 9 years, Usenu has been fully dedicated to the AFDB Water and Sanitation Department as a sanitation specialist. And since October 2020, he has been assigned the officer in charge for divisions within the sanitation department. So before joining the bank, Usenu has managed a consultancy firm in Dakar, Senegal. And over that period, he's extensively worked with several unilateral, bilateral, and multilateral organizations such as World Bank, UN Habitat, UNICEF, USAID, etc., in Africa and in Haiti as well. He has worked for 13 years in REPA, now known as Water and Sanitation for Africa, a regional African organization promoting access to low-cost water, sanitation, and hygiene for peri-urban areas. So over to you, Asinu. We are looking forward to your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, my presentation is about strengthening private sector involvement for sustainable and inclusive access to fecal/services along its value chain. Yes, it will be presented through these 4 major items. The first one will be the description of the context, which will be followed by the objective of the intervention, then the pillars and the operational priorities. And I will conclude with some perspective in terms of findings. About the context, this project or initiative is part of the implementation of what we call the OSIF program. The OSIF program is the African Urban Sanitation Investment Fund program, which aimed to upscale lessons learned from an AFDB initiative from 2020 to 2017, which aimed to promote innovative urban sanitation approaches in terms of technology, governance, financing, etc. The OSIF objective is to mobilizing financing to contributing to meet the SDG targets in sanitation in urban Africa. It has 3 main pillars. The first one is the establishment of the investment fund, which aim to attract funding from traditional development partners and private sector. The second pillar of this OSIF program is related to the development of a pipeline of bankable citywide sanitation projects, which is about a comprehensive approach to prepare sustainable infrastructure project and promote promote investment financing. The third pillar is related to catalytic project support, with the objective to demonstrate business opportunities and potential for private sector in participating in investing in urban sanitation sector. Now, what the focus of this presentation will be related to a project that the sanitation utility in Cote d'Ivoire submitted to the bank, the African Development Bank, to enhance private sector involvement in service provision along the sanitation value chain. Indeed, in its 5th-year strategic plan, ONAD, which is a sanitation utility, has developed a specific program which key pillars are: first, the development of fecal sludge treatment plants throughout the country, and mostly in the secondary towns and the capital city, which is Abidjan. The second pillar is related to sensitizing households and people for the adoption of and construction of standardized toilets. And last, the capacity building of the service providers. Actually, this program of this utility related to sanitation, on-site sanitation, is to develop 14 fecal sludge treatment plants throughout the countries and in the main cities, and also set up a guarantee fund to support the service provider, which is amounting today over $360,000. Now, what happened is that they have already built a first step, which was commissioned in 2017. And after 1 year operation and maintenance of this facility, they realized that the operation cost is higher compared to the flow of money they are receiving from fees paid by the collection operators. And the gap is about 80% of the operation cost. And the main reason is that the volume of fecal sludge transported and discharged into this plant is far less. It's about 40% of what have been exposed. So this small volume is due to the fact also that the collection system and disposal is not truly mastered and controlled, so that all septic tanks emptied should be the volume should be transported into the fecal sludge treatment plant. The other thing is that you have also these informal emptiers, and due to the cost of do not use the services that are provided by these entrepreneurs. So we can imagine the objective now of the utility. Actually, the main objective is how to overcome this deficit of the operational cost of this the fecal sludge treatment plant, because as they have to develop several other plants, there is need to master or to take action in order to secure at least the operation cost for this infrastructure. That's why they developed a kind of project aiming at working on this particular issue of securing how to secure resources to cover the operation cost, at least of all these plants that they plan to develop throughout the cities in the country. Now, the intervention has two main pillars. The first one is enhancing private sector involvement, and the second one is promoting service demand and facilitating access to the poor mainly to these services. Now, the first pillar related to the enhancing private sector intervention along the value chain has four operational priorities, which are the following. The first one is a participatory review and or accommodation of the regulatory framework and tools to the targeted cities, urban cities. What I want to point out here, the toilet specifications, the fecal sludge collection license, because all the operators are to be licensed by the utility. But what is the truth is that out of Abidjan, which is the capital city, in the secondary cities, most of the existing operators are not yet licensed. And also the management tools contract between the utilities and the private sector that are that will operate these facilities. The second operational priority is related to the procurement and contracting of private sector to operate these FSTPs that are already built and commissioned. Today there is 3 units that have been completely built and commissioned. 2 of them are in operation now. The third is capacity improvement of fecal sludge collectors. And the last is, the last is related to regular participatory assessment of the services delivery. The second pillar is related to promotion of demand and facilitating access to services. The main priority under this pillar are related to the development and implementation of comprehensive communication plan in these targeted cities. And then development and management of IT platform, easing access to the various information on service delivery. It means regulations, tools, infrastructure specification in design, and standardized toilets and FSTPs and collection licenses. And last is the development of and promotion of financing tools, guarantee funds for fecal sludge collector, loans for private toilets, mostly for the poor. Now, these are the pillars. As I'm saying, it's just projects that have been launched last year. And right now we are processing the recruitment, the procurement of technical assistance to support the implementation of this project and to support also the beneficiary, which is mainly the utility. Now, as it is related, this related to the financing issue and challenges. In my view, if for operation and maintenance of these facilities, there is need to enhance the participation of the private sector to operate and maintain these facilities. We have already some successful examples in Senegal, in Togo, and also in Ghana, not far from Cote d'Ivoire. And I think what they seek to implement can refer also or take advantages to the lessons from this interesting initiative. Now, related to the investment, up to now, it's the public resources that are used to invest to build these facilities. But nevertheless, we can try to draw lessons in the solid waste management system. For instance, in Abidjan, for instance, the newly operating landfill has been, the investment have involved the private sector, and it is also operated by this private sector. In Morocco, also in Rabat, for instance, there is an interesting case where the private sector have been fully involved in the investment. In short, this is what I wanted to share with the participant of this FSM6. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Thanks a lot, Osinu, for this presentation. We will have a panel discussion after all the presenters have given their presentations. So please post your questions in the chat, and this would be discussed during the panel. The next to present would be Mwanza Nachula Mukuka from Lusaka Water. And Mwanza is an environmental engineer with over 9 years of experience in developing, managing, and implementing water and sanitation projects. She holds an MSc in environmental engineering and project management from Leeds University in the UK. Her career started as a peri-urban engineer under peri-urban department in Lusaka Water and Sewerage Company Limited. The PUD is a department that is dedicated solely to providing water and sanitation services with low-income areas in Lusaka, Zambia. She is currently the sanitation specialist under the Lusaka Sanitation Program, a Lusaka water supply and sanitation company initiative to improve access to safe and sustainable sanitation in Lusaka. Her area of focus under the program is to provide support in coordinating, planning, designing, and implementing programs that will scale up the provision of non-sewer sanitation services and facilitate the new delivery models and mechanisms for the entire sanitation service chain for the utility. Lusaka Water is one of the few companies that has changed its name from sewerage to sanitation to accommodate non-sewer sanitation services. So we're looking forward to hearing your presentation, Mwanza.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Mwanza Nachula Mukuka from Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. I'm the sanitation specialist under the Lusaka Sanitation Program, which is a program funded by various international financing institutions that includes the World Bank, African Development Bank, European Investment Bank, and KfW, as well as Bill and Melinda Gates. The presentation I'm going to give you today really looks at the financing angle with regards to the products and services that the Lusaka Sanitation Program is undertaking with regards to provision on and improving the wash sanitation status of the people of Lusaka. So just as a brief background, the Lusaka Sanitation Program, also known as the LSP, is aimed at improving access to safely managed sanitation and is supported by the various FIs, as I mentioned earlier. And we also have additional support from GIZ and Bill and Melinda Gates that really looks at ensuring that the efforts under the bigger components, which is the bigger financing, is complete, and ensuring that we translate the strong enabling environments and key successes into measurable improvements, especially with on-site sanitation and fecal sludge management. Some of the interventions of the LSP includes the expansion and rehabilitation of the sewer network and treatment facilities, then the construction of improved household sanitation facilities and institutional toilets, as well as the FSM business, that is a new business for the utility. The LSP also looks at building capacity within the utility, which is the main thing. We want to ensure that the financing and also the products and services that will be developed under the project is actually adequately managed post the project. And so there's been a deliberate effort to ensure that capacity is built within the utility for all the products and the services that the project is offering to the various customers. In terms of the enabling environment, Lusaka has been, Zambia in whole has been in a very fortunate situation right now, because we've seen a lot of change with regards to especially non-sewer sanitation. Recently, we had our national regulator, National Water Supply and Sanitation Council, NOSCO, expand the mandate of all utilities. So utilities initially were water and storage, but now they're focusing on providing sanitation services. And then what we've also seen is the fact that we have the OSS and national guidelines and standards that the regulator as well as the Zambia Bureau of Standards are developing. So in terms of the financing angle, how they created the program as well as the utility look at upgrading and also ensuring that the household pay for the sanitation facilities. And also the key thing that was in the service delivery model was the fact that we needed to ensure that post the project, households are still able to construct these facilities, as well as the utility is able to actually subsidize in a way or offer a discount for the households to improve their sanitation facilities. We had to undertake a formative research that looks at the understanding the willingness of people to pay, and then we had to design for aspiration and also unnecessary emotions. What did we really think that would actually allow customers to pay for